Alright, we're heading on a new adventure today. We're going to go do a little fossil hunting. I've been here before in a previous video. We'll go find these big 3 million year old scallop shells, and we find maybe some shark's teeth, maybe a megalodon tooth, or vertebrae. I've actually found vertebrae in this spot. A lot of different fossils in this area. So anyway, we're going to check that out, and maybe, I'm take my detectors. I can't go anywhere without my detectors, so I might end up getting them wet a little bit. So you just have to wait and see how we do on that. But I wanted to show you one thing I made not long ago. It's a picker to dig with, and this is made from a leaf spring from a car's leaf spring. I cut that out of it, so it's tempered and hardened. This is an old shovel. Even welded my little initial in there. But anyway, I welded that pipe on here around here. I'm not a welder, but I can weld enough to get it hold together anyway. And I made this a little longer than normal. If you remember, Aqua Trigger uses these, and I kind of got the design from one he uses, but I made it a little bit different, a little longer. This is a little bit longer. Welded that on and put the old handle that came off the old shovel in it. So I really don't have any money in it. So if it, hopefully it'll work okay. We'll check it out. Probably not, maybe not today, but I just wanted to show you that. That's kind of cool, I thought. Anyway, we're going to get going here in just a minute and see what we can find. So stay tuned. Let's get out there in the water. Alright, we've arrived at stop number 1. We've got about 3 stops we're going to make on this venture. So let me show you kind of quickly what we got here. This old tree here, but look at this. Check out the fossils in the water here. These shells are all over 3 to 5 million years old. Look at that. These are called Chesapeake jeffersonius. It's actually Virginia State fossil. Look at that. See that little hole in the middle of him? I'm going to explain that to you in just a minute. What causes that? I believe since I've been here, it's actually kind of worn off some. We definitely will go ahead and hit the metal detector here just for the heck of it. Don't know if there's anything being here or not, but we'll definitely check it out. But all these fossils are coming out of the hills and all up there. You can see fossils coming all out the hills. This has actually been eaten away a little more than it used to be, I believe. So let's get going here. Look at this right here. Anybody know what that is? That's a piece of bone. That's probably a whale bone. That's another piece of whale bone right there. You hear? Petrified whale bone. Right there. I found whale teeth and all in here before. And even megalodon teeth. Anyway, let's get started here and check everything out. Alright, stay tuned. We'll get going here. I kind of like to do this every spring because you never know what the storms have kind of washed up and broken loose in here. Look at this. See, now this is probably clay. That's hard. So this is actually eating away at the base level. Now these right here are kind of rare. It's kind of hard to find this particular shell. I'll try to put up there what this particular one is because it falls apart. It kind of deteriorates really easy. And look at this. See, this is solid in here. Look at this. Here's one right here, I think. Yep. Look at that. Oh, I've never seen one, I don't think, with that type of shell part left on the outside of it. Because normally they don't last. But see, this is clay right here. And it's actually, they're just now coming out. So they haven't had time to get destroyed yet. Look at that. That's almost a whole one right there. That's pretty cool. We might save him. Don't see those a whole lot like that. But this clay right here, where they were packed down, so you might could find old shark's teeth or anything in this right here. But it does have a lot of this type of shell in it. I see several of them in there. That's cool right there to me. I like that. That's all this is just now coming out. Look at this. More, almost a whole one right there. Some more of them right here. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Say they don't last for, once they come out, they just completely deteriorate pretty fast. You can see it start to fall apart already as soon as it comes at the ground. That's pretty awesome. I like that. These are all just now coming out. Look at that. Nice ones. We'll save those probably. They're pretty. Very pretty right there. Anybody like to have one? maybe we'll do a giveaway. That's pretty awesome. Let me know in the comments if y'all like that. Like for me to do that if anybody's interested. I don't know what that is either. But yeah, some of that's fresh just now coming out. See, a lot of this is just new stuff. I might find some Ek4 shells or anything in here. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Look at that. Man, oh man, oh man. They are coming down. These fossils are everywhere in here. I'd like to find a big old megalodon tooth in that too. And you never know, you might. Pretty cool. You can see that here. We'll go on up here and we'll check this out real quick. Just want to show y'all how these layers are in here. Look at that. Look at the layers and layers of old prehistoric shells. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Layer after layer. Alright, we're going to take a look right here a little bit, see if we can find anything interesting. Alright, stay tuned. I just wanted to show you this. This used to be a pretty good sized beach right here. And now it's low tide and it's only, what, 10 feet. And you can see right here that over time it's just eating away at it and taking it down. A lot of times you sit here and go through these shells and find shark's teeth in them. We'll check it out just for a minute here. But look at that, it's just thousands and thousands of shells. Prehistoric shells here. And you can find little pieces of bone, still little bone and stuff in it too. Whalebone. Isn't that cool? Alright, we're going to check this out just for a minute here and see if I see any shark's teeth in it. Alright, when you're looking for shark's teeth, what I like to do is get on that tide going out, and as it washes it back down, a lot of times you'll see the little tooth show up. That's actually a piece of Ek4 shell right there. Hopefully we'll find a hole in before it's over with, but I don't know if we will or not. A nice shell right there. Sweet. But sometimes you'll see just see a different color laying in the sand. It'll be a shark's tooth. No, I haven't seen it yet today, but you'll see these conglomerates too sometime of old fossils. They'll leave imprints of where they were. Fossilized imprints there. I will keep looking here. It's kind of, I enjoy just walking along here, just checking the shells out. And picking up a few little odds and ends here. Hopefully we'll find something a little more interesting here in a little bit. Alright, well stay tuned, we'll keep getting out. Here's some more conglomerate right there. Alright, we're just hitting another area here. And I tell you, you really do have to have an eye for the shark's teeth part of it. That's pretty cool. When you walk on, I've seen people walk right behind me. Oh, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. You gotta kind of really have an eye for them. I don't have a good eye for them. But that's an Ek4 shell right there. But some people can just come along here and pick them right up. You really got to keep your eyes focused on certain colors and certain shapes and sizes. Mixed in with all these fossils. And sometimes you see them and sometimes you don't. Alright, we're going to keep looking around here a little bit. I've seen pieces of Ek4 shell, but no whole ones. Summertime, you can actually get in the water here and swim around. Check it out. We'll do that this summer. But right now, we'll just kind of do some inspection here. Alright, that's a nice piece of whale vertebrae right there. That's probably his vertebrae bone right there. Isn't that cool? They actually make a kind of, you can tell when you hit something. Kind of like you can tell it's solid. They're petrified there. Yep, that's pretty cool. I think I see a shark's tooth right there. Anybody see it? They're really hard to see, buddy. It's right there. I think this one right. Yep, that's a shark's tooth right there. First one today. Check it out. Isn't that awesome? That's a shark's tooth, petrified shark's tooth. 3 million-year-old shark's tooth right there. Isn't that crazy? There you go. They are here. There's millions of them here. I just can't see them half the time. But they are here. Sweet. Alright, we're going to keep looking for them some more. Alright, we ended up with a few things in this one spot. Here, I got some, these are all petrified whale bones, probably vertebrae and different pieces off the whale. These are Ec4 shell pieces, one shark's tooth, and just some little, I did pick up some shells, I'll put in my basket there too. And so we're going to hit a couple more spots, so let's put this away and move on to the next location. Awesome! Alright, this is a new area, and we're just checking it out. Got some different kind of shells in here. These are all petrified shells from that time frame. But one thing I wanted to show you in here was this area here has a lot of, I call it conglomerates in here. It's like concreted petrified shells. Look at this. You couldn't get one of these out if you had to. It's like concrete around them. I guess over the time frame they hardened and something got in it hard. You might find a big old megalodon right in the middle of one of these. Good luck getting it out. Check it out. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Look at that. It ain't coming out. That's a nice one right there, but you ain't getting it out. That's awesome. Hey, like have one of these in the front yard or something. Hey, cool. I do find them smaller too. Small enough you can pick up and carry. But there's some nice big old shells and some of this stuff. Man, look at that. All hardened conglomerates. Isn't that awesome? It's like concrete. I'm not sure what that material is that's sealing them in, but it's over time, over millions of years, it just turns super hard. I mean, you can find some pieces like this. You can see how it is. Oh man, look at the size of this one. I'll wait to get it home to clean up that thing. Oh my God. That thing is huge. That's a beautiful shell there. That's awesome. Man, that's a big shell there. We'll definitely save that one, and I think there might be a couple more here. Alright, check out these shells. These are some of the biggest shells I've ever gotten. Look at the size of that thing. Look at this one. It's a whole one. That thing is huge. Look at that. It's a whole shell. It's got both halves. A little broke at the top there a little bit, but look at the size. That thing is one of the biggest ones I think I've ever found. That is awesome. That's cool. Even 3 million old barnacle on it. Isn't that cool? That is nice. And I got picked up a couple more. Something like I say in this area, you do have that conglomerate mixed into some of it. Right there, if you see it closely, that's a piece of Ec4 shell. Right there. He's the one that drills a hole in them and eats them. And I'll show you him in just a little bit. He might clean up. There's another piece of Ec4 shell right there. Probably the same guy, maybe. Isn't that cool? Alright, we're going to keep looking around, see if we can find something else cool in here. Awesome. Alright, when you're hunting these areas, you want to look for the reddish brown and the black. That's normally what color the teeth and the bones line up like this. That's a piece of bone. You see that color? See that orangish color? There's another piece of bone. Another piece of bone right there. Let's see, this one's a little bit bigger maybe because I can't even get it out. Yeah, big old piece of rib bone probably. And then you got, you keep looking for those colors around. Let's see if I see anything else. Y'all see anything else? Little piece of bone probably there. But that's the color you want to look for. Like that. See the whale's ear bone. I found several of those in here. That's pretty cool. I'll show a picture of one of those up on the screen. Kind of strange because it kind of looks like an ear. But it's a whale's ear bone. Petrified. Alright, here's another little area with a lot of shells showing. A lot of pretty shells too. Look at that. That's a nice one. But if you notice, it's a little drop off right here. So everything a little heavier is kind of hanging in this area a little bit. So we'll check this area out a little bit too here. It's kind of cool looking. Lots of shells. Walk softly so we don't crush them. So I see some whale bones in it too. No big megalodons yet, or ear bones or anything, but this is definitely a spot that it could have some in it. It's in here. See him? There he is right there. Not real scared of us. Hello there, fella. The reptiles are coming out. Snakes will be here too, so you gotta keep an eye out for them too. Check him out though. Hey guy, what's up? Hey! He says, I don't care. I'm just sunning out here getting warm. You do whatever you want to do. I'm going to stay right here. Alright, we'll leave him alone. Hold on! Here we go! It's not too bad out here today. Could be worse. We've seen it a lot worse, haven't we? It's beautiful out here today. Beautiful blue sky. Awesome! Alright. We'll be there in about 15 minutes. Alright, hold on. Alright, I'm at a really old colonial pier here. It's way out in the water here. You can see all the birds are sitting on all the old piles. It's dead low water and they're barely coming up. You gotta really watch it in your boat here. You gotta notice things here because, you know, as soon as the tide comes in, that thing is above the water, it's below the water line, so you can definitely hit these with your boat. We're gonna drop a little magnet down here. We'll get here close to them and drop a magnet and see what we can do there. Alright, let's check it out. Alright, no luck so far on the magnet fishing. I hadn't felt like it hit anything yet. I might be sanding in down at the bottom. But it's only, seems only about 8 feet deep, so we could probably snoop at this during the summertime and see if they dropped anything off this big old pier here. Big old pier. So we might have to check this out later. Alright, we're at a brand new spot. A lot of the same material. You know, these extinct scallop shells and some other whalebone stuff and all. This is a spot I saw one guy that was walking through. You know, a lot of people walk these banks just looking for sharks and all. Said he found a 6-inch megalodon right here. So that's something to look for there. It'll probably be reddish or brownish. And these cliffs, if you see the layer up there a little higher, but these don't have quite as many coming out as some of them do. They do have them coming out, but not quite as many. So let's take a look around this area. It's pretty much a same stuff. You just gotta look for the goodies. Alright, stay tuned. Let's see what we can find. Alright, as you can see, this area does have some of these big conglomerates in here that just nothing but concretion of shells in it. Check it out from the front here real quick. Like I said, a big old megalodon right in the middle of it. I'll get it out if it was in there. We would, wouldn't we? But I don't see any off the top of my head. But I do like looking at some of the stuff that falls down. Sometimes you do find some cool stuff in it. Some nice, nice little conglomerates. Look pretty on the wall, wouldn't it? I like them. But that's a whole shell there. But anyway, we'll keep checking it out. I just want to show you the conglomerates in this area too. So we'll keep getting up. Hi, this is actually a prehistoric shell also. It's a different variety than the Chesapeake jeffersonius, which is kind of cool. I think that one right there, this one here is whole, I think. So we'll take that and clean it up maybe, so we can get this one off. Alright, we're still looking at this hill right here. Got lots on it, so we'll check it out. Alright, we're still looking through a lot of these old shells here, up on the bank and everything. I have not seen an egg forest shell, which is really surprising. Normally I always see a couple of those in here. We'll keep looking though. See what we can come up with. They're awesome though, they're everywhere. Isn't that a beautiful shell? Look at that. That's a whole one too, look at that. That's one whole, 2 halves matched together. Very cool. Alright, we picked up a few more pretty shells. Awesome shells. Look at that. That is cool. Some of the coolest ones. This is probably one of the coolest ones here, though. I got it open. Check it out. Check that out. Yeah, that's a big one, too. A whole shell, both halves. It's perfect. It's perfect. Look at that. Awesome. I like that one. Egg 4 doesn't have a hole in it, so egg 4 didn't eat him. He's cool. Alright, let's keep getting up. Pick up a few more, maybe she'll try to find a couple more shark's teeth or whatever. And try hunting these hills just a little bit more. It's so cool. I love it. I like to do this at least once a year in the spring when everything's kind of washed down from the winter time and all. Find a lot of cool stuff. A lot of good whole shells. Awesome. Alright, let's keep getting up. Alright, here's a whole different hill full of shells. I'll show you one more thing here too. You see these things right here? They used to call them tube worms. They're from prehistoric time also. You see a bunch of these little pieces in there. And you get these things in here too. They got a name, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but you see those in the shell area too. They come from the prehistoric time frame too. As you can see, some of these layers are different time zones. If you notice this layer right here, look at the tube worms in this layer. It's nothing, there's hundreds and hundreds of tube worms. Look at that. All in here. There's tons of them, tons of them. Look at that. Almost like a pipe stem, doesn't it? Old tube worms. That time frame right there had a lot of them in it. That's kind of cool. Alright, we'll look at some over here too. Alright, that's been a wrap on the fossils. We got a ton of fossils. Especially the shells anyway. Had some really whole ones and all. That was awesome. Thanks for coming along on the fossil. My first spring fossil hunt. Alright, stay tuned for the next metal detector hunt. Alright, here we go.